Hello and welcome to my review of the Lieutenant with Combi-Weapon from the Leviathan box set. It's important to note that the only way of picking up this Lieutenant at the moment, I'm pretty sure he'll be released separately soon, is through this box set. You can't pick him up in any of the other kind of ultimate starter sets or starter sets, which is a bit of a shame because I think it's quite a nice looking model. If and when he is released, you're probably going to be expecting to pay £20 to £24. So at the moment he will cost you £150 because you can only get him in the Leviathan box set. The format of this review will be as normal. I'll go through, we'll have a look at the miniature up close, look at all the detail, how easy it was to build. There are no spare parts, so I won't go through that, but I will go through a load of size comparisons with other minis in the set and some Tyranids. And then at the end of the video, I will go through all of his rules, found for free in the Warhammer 40,000 app under Lieutenant with Combi-Weapon. So, to start off with, let's have a look at the mini. I think he's pretty good. You know, not as kind of action posed as the other Lieutenant that we had with the frag grenade, you know, the Phobos pattern 1. But you can see he is in that Phobos armour. They've kind of negated no shoulder pauldron on the right hand side by him attaching a piece of a Tyranid on there, and on his van brace as well. Ordo Xenos will like to have a talk with this chap after the battle. He's even got some trophies and things. He's standing on one of the kind of neuro tyrant kind of creatures, you know, standing on its face, I think. The Combi-Weapon is a kind of Combi Infernus flamethrower type weapon. It's got a couple of scabbards for the blades that he's got a shorter blade, and then this larger knife. There's also a knife stuck into this Tyranid. He hasn't got a helmet, he's got the mask though, and he's got a number of grenades which he hasn't yet used. And you know, the Zenit base is alright, I guess, and he's on a 40mm base and not a 32. He's on like a Terminator base. I think it's pretty cool. It's a nice looking mini, and will go very well with your Tyranids, especially if you're going to paint the ones like on his shoulder and under his boot the same colour as the rest of them in the Force. So that's the Lieutenant. There are no spare parts, so we'll go straight into the size comparisons. Although you can't use this mini as your Warlord, I do have a couple of Warlords that come with the set. So here he is in the middle of the, you know, Terminator Captain and the Librarian Terminator armour. I'd say he's dwarfed by them, but you know, if you compare him to the Librarian and Terminator at least, he's very similar height, you know, so very similar height, just a bit more bulk with that Terminator armour, and they're on the same size base, whereas of course the Terminator Captain is a fair bit chunkier and taller because of that Zenit base, but height wise, there's not much in it at all. Compare him to one of the normal Terminators. Terminator's a little bit taller again, but way bulkier in that Terminator armour. Compared to some Tyranid models, so you've got the Tyranid Prime right here, a fair bit bigger, and then the Screamer Killer. Look how big he is. Look how big the Screamer Killer is really compared to the Lieutenant. And of course I might as well, because I've got the Dreadnought nearby, the Ballistus Dreadnought. Ballistus Dreadnought is probably one of the biggest models in the set. I'd say the Screamer Killer is a bit taller just because of the blades, just because of the scythe and talons, but yeah, that's where he measures up. Compared to some usual models that I like to compare these with, my usual reviews, we've got a sort of standard Legacy Space Marine here. He's a fair bit taller than Legacy Space Marine. Slime Marbo, you know, veteran in his own right, but you know, to do with orcs mainly. And then we've got a Primaris Space Marine. I thought this would be a good size comparison. Minus the scenic base, they are the same height. If anything, I'd say this Primaris is a little bit taller just because of the armour. He's, you know, obviously more armoured up. So it's going to fit very well with the rest of your Primaris force if you're thinking of adding him to your army. And now you've reached my part of the review where I will go through all of the rules for this lieutenant with Combi-Weapon. So first of all, he will cost you 80 points, and his stat line reads movement of 6 inches, toughness of 4, save of 3+, 4 wounds, leadership 6+, objective control 1. He's got a ranged weapon, which is that Combi-Weapon, which is a 24-inch range, 1 attack, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1, but it does have a number of extra kind of little special rules, such as anti-infantry 4+, which means that any unmodified wound rolls of, you know, whatever the number is, which is 4+ in this case, the enemy, then you will score a critical wound. So although it's only got 1 attack, you know, on a 4+, it's gonna say mortally wound, critically wound. Then you've got devastating wounds. So each time attack is made with a weapon, a critical wound inflicts a number of mortal wounds on the target equal to the damage characteristic of that weapon, and the attack sequence ends. So the strength characteristic is a 4. So if you're getting a 4+ to wound, you're getting a critical wound, which will then inflict, you know, 4 mortal wounds. Pretty good when you think about it. Rapid fire 1, it just means that if the target unit is within half the weapon's range, your attack characteristic of the weapon is increased by the denoted X. So in this case 1, it's rapid fire 1. So if he's within 12 inches of a unit, then he's going to be firing off the 2 shots, and then you couple that with, if he gets 2 4+s, then that's going to be 8 mortal wounds, which is pretty impressive. So although he's just got this combi weapon, it has the potential of causing a lot of wounds. He's got these, for his melee weapons, he's got paired combat blades. So it's a melee of 5 attacks, which is quite good. Weapon skills 2+, which is brilliant. Strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Again, these paired weapons have got this anti-Tyranids 4+. So again, any unmodified wound rolls of, you know, an X+, which is, again is going to be 4+, scores a critical wound. So, you know, you got 5 attacks there. You got 50-50 chances of getting critical wounds, which is quite nice. And then it's also got sustained hits 1. So each time an attack is made with such a weapon, if a critical hit is rolled, that attack scores a number of additional hits denoted by 1. So if you've got, so for instance, say you've got 5 attacks and all 5 get higher than 4+, you've then got an extra 5 additional hits, so you get 10 hits in total, which is pretty good. Abilities: feel no pain of a 5+. So each time a model with this ability suffers damage, and so would lose a wound, including wounds lost to mortal wounds. It's a very important note to make. You roll a d6. If the result is greater than or equal to the number denoted by X, in this case it's a 5+, the wound is ignored and is not lost. So feel no pain 5+, pretty good. Infiltrators, you can, when you're setting up the unit, you can set it up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches horizontally away from the enemy deployment zone. Lone operative, unless part of an attached unit, the unit can only be selected as a target of a ranged attack if the attacking model is within 12 inches. That's pretty good. So if you've got any ranged weaponry trying to target him, you're going to have to be within 12 inches of him to shoot him. And then the final rule, he's also got stealth, where each time a ranged attack is made against it, subtract 1 from the attack's hit roll. So not only do you have to be within 12 inches to hit him, you then are removing 1 to hit him anyway with ranged weaponry. Faction abilities: Oath of Moment. Again, you can reroll hit rolls and reroll wound rolls against enemy units. Datasheet abilities, you've got priority objective identified. It's an aura ability at the start of your first battle round. If your army contains one or more models with this ability, you can select one objective marker on the battlefield to be the priority objective until the end of the battle, while a friendly Adeptus Astartes unit is within 6 inches of this model. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack that targets an enemy unit that is within range of the priority target, re-roll wound roll of 1. Pretty good. Evade and survive once per turn. When an enemy unit ends a normal advance or fallback move within 9 inches of this unit, if this unit is not within engagement range of one or more enemy units, it can make a normal move. That's quite good. It's also got Last Survivor, which means it can't be selected as a warlord. Got no war gear options, and the keywords infantry, character, grenades, smoke, Imperium, Phobos, lieutenant with Combi-Weapon, and Adeptus Astartes. So a pretty good lieutenant. Decent rules. Yeah, his save is only 3+, and he's only got 4 wounds, but he's going to be pretty tricky to take down anyway, because you're going to have to be fighting him in close combat, and again, that's sort of where he excels. Although he hasn't got the best strength, he's getting a number of attacks that can cause critical wounds against Tyranids. This lieutenant with Combi-Weapon is a must if you're going up against Tyranids, and his Combi-Weapon also has a fair bit of damage as well. Nice 24-inch range with that. The aura ability is pretty good as well, with re-rolling wounds of 1, and obviously that Oath of Moment. What do you guys think of the lieutenant with Combi-Weapon? I think it's a pretty good model. I think his rules are fantastic. Lots of rules for him, which sort of makes a bit of a change from the other sort of Space Marines I've reviewed in this box set so far, especially the Terminators. Please do put your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.